Hey guys, this is SoFlo Josh, and I'm over here at Toyota of South Dade to film this 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off Road for y'all. With that being said, let's go ahead and get out to exterior and let's talk about this model. Now, I want to give a huge shout out to Toyota of South Dade. If you guys are interested in purchasing a Tacoma or any other Toyota of that matter, make sure to go ahead and contact Lewis. He'll be able to assist you in getting into any of those vehicles. With that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this model. Now, this is the TRD Off Road spec version. We do have the IForce Max underneath the hood, so why don't we go ahead and talk about that first. Now, the IForce Max is the 2.4 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder underneath the hood, linked to an electric motor. Now, the electric motor is actually housed between the engine and the transmission. It's an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it produces 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Now, that does go through all 4 wheels if you choose to, because this is a part-time 4-wheel drive system. Unlike what we find in the new Land Cruiser, you have to choose, you know, 4 high, 2 high or 4 low as well. So let's go ahead and talk about the styling. Now, for the TRD Off-Road, we have non-full LED headlights up here in the front. We have an incandescent bulb. In order to get full LED headlights with the turn signals being LED in the DRLs, you actually have to spring for either the limited TRD Pro or the Trail Hunter. But I'm sure that you can go to your local dealership, and if you want to, you can go ahead and pay the fee to go ahead and buy the full LED lights for this model. Now, getting over here to the grille, just like what you would find in the TRD Sport as well as the, you know, TRD Pro models, you actually have this honeycomb style finish to the grille. But unlike the TRD Pro, it does not have the Toyota nameplate heritage across this grille. We actually have the Toyota logo right there. You have your full LED lights for the fog lamps, and then we have your full-on Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 right here up in the front. Dropping it over there, as you can see underneath the grille, we do have this chin style thing. Now, the reason why this is here is for added fuel economy. Toyota has put that there, but there is about like 8 bolts that you can actually take out from underneath, and you can remove that whole entire thing. Since this is an off-road vehicle, I would totally recommend taking that off. I don't see the necessity to go ahead and have that on, and hopefully maybe in a couple years Toyota goes ahead and does that as well. Getting over here to the side, we have a body cladding style finish to the side fenders in the front and the rear. So unlike the TRD Sport, where the TRD Sport is actually body colored, or the TRD Pro where it's actually gloss black, we have the full-on body cladding right here, which this is actually pretty nice. I do like this more or less, especially when you're off-roading. The gloss black, you can buff it out, yes, but at the same time, you know, there's going to be deep scratches when you are going off-roading with the TRD Pro version. Now, dropping it over here, we do have 18-inch wheels with that Falcon AT tires as well. They have a really nice tread to them. They look really good. It's going to be great for off-roading. Of course, you can increase the size of these wheels to a larger. I believe what I've seen online is probably 33 that you can put into this model without having to cut off any of the inner liner, which is pretty good, especially with the squared off kind of finish to this front fender area. And then dropping it over here to the back, we do have a higher suspension, off-road suspension, compared to that of the TRD Sport. This is more of an off-road version compared to that TRD Sport, where it's more street oriented. Off to the side, we do have the Tacoma badge right there and that matte finish look to it. Side mirror caps finished in the same ice cap white that we have, with your turn signal being full LED. And then we do have rocker side panels right here off to the side. One interesting thing that I have noticed right off the bat when I saw this vehicle is that we have these LED lights that are embedded into the bed area. Now, these are optional. You can option this off, I believe, whenever you are building off the vehicle. The only models that get this as standard, I believe, are the TRD Pro and the Trail Hunter, but you can option it for a TRD Off-Road. Now, the great thing about this is that they're full LED. So that means that when you are at a campsite, you can actually keep this on and it will lit up the whole entire campsite, which is really good. I do recommend getting something like this if you are off-roading or you are overlanding a lot. You can use this to go ahead and illuminate the campsite with that. Now, getting over here to the back area, we have the Tacoma badge right there stamped into the rear tailgate, and then we have 4x4 as well as your IForce Max logo with that Beyond Zero as well. Opening up right here, the lift gate or tailgate, you actually have it's actually damped, which is very nice, but this isn't the one where you can actually press this button right here and it will automatically go down. This isn't you know, power tailgate, which I actually prefer this. I have seen, there's a guy that I watch on YouTube that has Tacoma Off Road, and he got the premium package with the power lift gate, and it's actually been giving him issues, so I would totally stay away from that. Now, this is the full-on tonneau cover over here in the back. We do have some LED lighting over there, and then we have a 12-volt socket right there, some more compartment. If you were to get the Trail Hunter, that would be where your air compressor would be at. And then over here we have a 120-volt 240-watt inverter right there, so that means that you can hook up anything, kind of like a coffee machine or anything like that if you need so, if you're on the campsite. We do also have some storage bins right there, so all you need to do is just close it up and it's secured. So very nice. I like this tonneau cover. It's actually really good to have a tonneau cover just in case if you feel like you need to have anything safely secured into the bed area. I always recommend getting a tonneau cover. Let's go ahead and continue down here. We do have ARB hooks off to the back right here, so this is going to be great to go ahead and drag those Jeep Wranglers that are stuck off on the trail. So you can go ahead and use this, hook it up to their winch, and then drag them out or anything like that, because we all know Jeep Wranglers aren't the best. Anyways, TRD Off Road logo right there, and like I said, it's just a really handsome truck. I love the overall design of this 4th generation Tacoma. They look phenomenal. I like the way that they integrated like a spoiler on the top of the roof area, and we do have a same match finish to your door handles. Proximity sensor is actually only for the front area and not for the back doors, so I wish that Toyota would have had done that, but nonetheless, I mean, I understand this is a TRD off-road. This isn't the full-on TRD Pro version. Now, getting over here, we do have hard plastic up at the top a little bit, and actually more hard plastic right here, and then soft padding right here. We do have a nice grip for your grab handle to get into the truck and close the door, and then we have a paint matched TRD badging right here. So when I filmed the TRD Sport version, actually you can get a blue one. It depends on what you want. If you want, you can do a white, you could do a blue. If you want to match the exterior, you could do the white. This actually doesn't look too bad, especially kind of adds a little bit of color to the black interior all in all. Now, we do have power seats for this one. They are cloth finish. They're not the Softex, which would be kind of like a leatherette or a little bit of a different material to leather. We do have power tilt for the bottom section, your thigh area, and then we have the increasement as well as tilting back and forward. We do have lumbar control. It is the 4-way, which is fantastic. I love when vehicles have the 4-way. Auxiliary outlets right here, so you can go ahead and link up. If you want to put a light over here in the front hood area, you can go ahead and link it up to one of these auxiliaries. And then we have your fuel door cap opener right here, and then your brightness for your infotainment screen. Now, getting into the vehicle, I'm actually going to keep the door open, and we're going to put it in its accessory mode. Over here we have a nice perforated steering wheel. It is kind of like a mixed material all in all. It's kind of like a leatherette or a different type of material. I'm not sure exactly the material they use for this, but over here it kind of feels very nice. I like the way the 9-3 grip is, and you have your turn signal stock with your high beam assist, and then you have your windshield wiper right there as well. Now, getting over here to the gauges, we have a 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster, and then we have a 14-inch touchscreen display. Now, this is the optional 14-inch touchscreen display. You have standard with this model a 8-inch touchscreen display that still has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto wirelessly, but this one also comes with that Android Auto, and it's actually pretty big. So let's go ahead, let's see how it looks like. Now of course, since I can't set up how, you know, the maps and anything like that, this is exactly what it looks like. Very high quality, very quick with the responses, which is actually pretty good. Now what they did interesting to the over-the-air updates for this model is that they had a Apple CarPlay where you can do a smaller section and you can have these hotkeys off to the side, or you can actually widen the screen, which is really nice. I'm glad that Toyota went ahead and listened to the feedback of what people were talking about. We got that TRD red right there with your start button for that engine, and then of course the screen looks very good. We have the tachometer and your RPM off to the left. Full driving sense right there as well. You can actually go into the modes right here and you can take it off, or if you press OK, you can actually enable or disable any of those parts as well. So really nice that Toyota allows you to go ahead and do that from your digital gauge cluster. Dropping it over here, we do have a single zone climate control with heated and heated seats. Actually, we don't have ventilated seats. You have to spring for the premium in order to get the ventilated seats. We do have a heated steering wheel. Really nice. I like that we have physical knobs for everything. We have our volume control knob right here. Vents look really good as well. I like the shape of them. They look nice. We have a compartment up here, and then behind here we have a USB Type-C for charging, and then more USB Type-C for charging. Actually, USB Type-C charging, and then this is for the media over here in the back. So if you want to, you can actually, you know, put a GoPro up here and link it up there, and then you can actually route it to here to keep it continuously charging. Wireless charging pad right there, an actual area to put more phones. So if you have one phone, you have another phone, you can just put it here. Now, kind of wish that Toyota would offer maybe 2 wireless charging pads at some point, but nonetheless, it looks really good. You got your shifter right here with the TRD logo as well, electronic parking brake, auto hold, and then you have your controller for your 2 high, 4 high, and then 4 low. You got your tow haul mode, drive mode, MTS mode. So if you were to go into there, you can actually switch over your modes. So we have normal, or yeah, eco, then we got normal, and then we got sport. So those are our regular modes. If you switch over to MTS, you actually have to turn on the vehicle really quick. Let me go ahead and turn it on for you guys. MTS mode right there. Multi-terrain, select, unavailable. Okay, so it's not allowing me. DAC crawl control right there. We got a center locking differential, and then of course, since this doesn't have the premium package, there would be some things that you would have as well. Nice little grab handle, a hook over here off to the side, so if you want to put any bags. You got MOLLE panels all across the doors and the bottom section of the door panel as well. And overall, it feels really nice in here. Very comfortable interior. You got your mirror right here, LED lighting, and you also do have more LED lighting as well on the top. You have a sunglass holder, and everything else just feels fantastic in here. So let me go ahead and get into the back seat really quick and show you guys the space. So this is exactly where I would be sitting in the back. Everything is hard, tough plastic as well. We got that same exact TRD panel right here with the white color, more MOLLE panels, and then you also have some areas to put some cups. But getting in, pretty easy. Just grab that handle and then you're all the way in. Now sitting in the back, since the seat is kind of like lower to the ground, my feet don't actually fit underneath. They're actually kind of getting squished a little bit. Legroom wise, I have about probably 2.5 inches of legroom. You got your cup holders. You got a 120 volt 240 watt inverter right here in the back, 2 USB type C's, but no vents, which I know that this is a mid-size vehicle, but at the end of the day, some air conditioning vents would be great back here. You do have your child seat controls area right here, so you can lock them in place. But nonetheless, I mean, it feels pretty good back here. A lot of headroom as well. I have probably about maybe, I would say, an inch of headroom space left. Now, getting over here to the back, as you see, you have your JBL speaker, subwoofer, and then you have more compartment space. Since this is the Hybrid Max version, what happens is that this compartment underneath is completely taken up by the battery, so you cannot actually fold this up, unlike the regular version with the iForce powertrain. But with that being said, let's go ahead and take this puppy out for a drive. All right, so let's go ahead and put it into drive very quickly. Very straightforward and easy to put it into drive. I like that we have an actual like shifter that we can shift up and down with, instead of it being just like a little knob. And I mean, a lot of cars are going to those electronic shifters, which I'm not a huge fan of. I prefer these shifters where they're like a lot bigger than the actual like little knobs. So let's go ahead and continue talking about the vehicle. Like I said, a 2.4 liter turbocharged engine underneath the hood. It is powered going through all the 4 wheels, depending on what you have, 2 high, 4 high, or 4 low. And 8-speed automatic transmission. I love the 8-speed automatic transmission whenever I drove the Tacoma TRD Sport, and I loved it in the Land Cruiser as well. So this is a really good transmission. I prefer it primarily compared to that of like what, you know, the 10-speed automatic transmission they have for the Tundra. Now, power wise, the torque is going to be there. This is, you know, 465 pound-feet of torque. It's going to be there. I mean, the one big thing that I would say for people who want to do towing at all, I would recommend getting this vehicle because it does increase the towing to 6,500 pounds of towing, which is an added plus if you are a person who likes to tow. This I would totally recommend. Power delivery wise, feels phenomenal. I mean, 326 horsepower is a lot of horsepower as well, especially for a mid-sized truck like this one. And you know, the looks look really good. I like the powertrain so far. Now we're gonna take it over here to this road off to the side, and then we're gonna do a little shorter drive today because we have low fuel. And yeah, we'll go ahead and see how this car drives. The good thing is that you hear that same blow-off valve that you would hear from the regular version of the 2.4 liter. So that's very interesting. I really love hearing that blow-up valve. At least it adds a little bit of sportiness. Now, if you were to get the snorkel off to the side from the Trail Hunter edition, you would actually be able to hear the turbocharged spew up the whole entire time when you are, you know, on the gas, which is insane. I cannot believe that we have a Tacoma that has a turbocharged engine that the turbo sounds insanely good. You know, usually some brands like to add so much insulation when it comes to like these turbocharged engines, so then it doesn't intrude too much into the cabin. But I think this is actually pretty good. I think this is a smart decision by Toyota. And when you press your foot on the gas, great input. The brakes feel really good as well. Very soft brakes. From what I've noticed from the TRD Sport that I drove, it does get, you have to take a little bit into pressing into the brake in order for it to properly stop. But it's actually pretty good. I actually quite like it. We'll go ahead and full throttle just a little bit. Yeah, that power delivery is insane. I'm very impressed with what Toyota has done for this model. Now, you know, suspension wise, it feels pretty good. We're in Florida, so there's gonna be flat roads all in all. It's not gonna be anything crazy. And you know, the suspension feels great. I think the suspension feels great. This is the TRD Off Road, so it's gonna have a little bit of a bumpiness, or not a bumpiness, but a softness to it. It's not gonna be as soft as what you would find in a TRD Pro, because those are, you know, Fox shocks, and the way that they tune those suspension by TRD is insane. But nonetheless, it feels really good. I like the turn-in as well. Very easy steering, turning in as well. I like the overall car. I think that the Tacoma is still one of my favorite in its category right now. They just know how to make trucks. You know, they've been making trucks for so long. The Tacoma has been out on the road now. Like I said, this is the hybrid version, so we're gonna have to wait and see what the reliability is. The 3.6 or 3.5 liter V6 that was out in the last generation has been out for such a long time. and it's been through so many different generations with so many different tunes to it. We're just gonna have to wait and see how this vehicle is going to respond with the reliability and everything, but I'm still very impressed. This is a car that I would totally recommend to get if anybody was interested in getting one, and it just sounds really good. Like, you know, the turbocharge underneath the hood, I still hear that blow off valve every single time you do it. And now mind you, this is not being piped in, this is not like how other brands do it. No, everything is actually coming through from underneath the hood. And it actually, whenever it's on, it sounds kind of like a diesel engine, and I know a lot of Toyota fans have been asking for diesel engines. But with that being said, let's go ahead over here back to the dealership and let's go ahead and end the video. So now we're back over here at the dealership. Let's go ahead and get out to the exterior and let me give you my final impressions of this model. Now, I've driven both the regular IForce and the IForce Max. Now, what do I think? Well, I personally would spring for the IForce Max, and the reason why I say that is because I think hybrid is the way to go in this current economy that we are living. You know, this car is going to give you better fuel economy than the regular IForce. It's going to give you better power delivery from underneath the hood, and also it's going to give you better towing. So if you are looking for a mid-size vehicle that's going to give you better towing with 6,500 pounds of towing, getting this one would actually be the best way to go. Styling wise, I personally love the Tacoma. I've loved it ever since we saw the first spy shots. I've always liked it, and you know, one of my favorite trucks that Toyota has ever made was actually the Toyota Hilux, especially when it came over here to the United States as the Toyota truck in that midway part where when Toyota was kind of figuring out what kind of vehicle they wanted to come over here for a truck, and then they made the Tacoma. So without that vehicle, we wouldn't have the Tacoma today. And the Tacoma has been, you know, it's been 4 generations of the Tacoma, and I think that they've been nailing it ever since the first iteration of it. You know, we have vehicles like, or trim levels like the TRD Pro, where you can go Baja driving, or we have the Trail Hunter, where it's more like overlanding, or you even have this TRD Off Road where you can even overland it as well or customize it yourself. So the Tacoma gives you such a wide range of things to do with it, and I think it's one of my favorite trucks right now. Now, of course, I haven't driven the Ranger yet, and I also haven't driven the Colorado or the Canyon. Personally, the design of the Tacoma just looks really good. It's very striking, and I just love it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.